Well, hello, everyone. Thank you guys so much for joining me on this Monday morning for a special episode of Success Link with America's Supermom. So, I am excited to be here today. My guest and I had to be flexible, right? That's a good word for the day, flexibility. We were originally scheduled to do this interview on Friday, but I am really excited to have her here with me today because we're going to be talking about knowing ourselves, right? When it comes to building business, building relationships, the list goes on and on. You have to start with a good, strong foundation of knowing yourself. So I'm excited to have Jeanne Muhammad with me today. We actually got acquainted with one another through a networking group that we're both a part of, Team Referral Network, and we call it V Team. So I'm excited for her to join us today to talk about, how do we know ourselves? What are some of the questions that we need to ask ourselves? What are some tips? Because I know for my own self during my journey of 13 years of depression, three hospitalizations, I didn't know myself too well. I was so busy trying to people please and be all things to all people that I lost myself. I didn't know who I was. So I'm excited to dive into this topic. And I think as we are ending Mental Health Awareness Month, which I believe it should be every day should be mental health awareness, right? It's not something that you can just compartmentalize into just 1 month. It's important, especially with all the things that are going on in the world today for our youth and adults and older generations, so many things with this pandemic alone. I think it's important to be conscious of our mental health always. So if that resonates with you and you have a message about that, feel free to connect with me because I would love to get you on the show so that we can have a dialogue. Well, this show is really about giving us successful tools when it comes to business, how we can know ourselves in a positive way. So, with that being said, I am going to have a little clip for you guys, and we'll be back with Jeannie right after these messages. All right. So, Jeannie, so glad to have you here with us today. Before we get started in our interview, I want to give you the opportunity to introduce yourself to everybody today.
Thank you, Lachelle. I am excited to be here with you. I admire you so much. And so to be in the same space with you is truly an honor for me.
Oh,
So thank you for having me.
you are
I
so
am, thank you. I am Jeanne Muhammad, your global happiness expert. Uh, my mission in life is to help women that are challenged. And we all as women face challenges in our lives at one point or another. And I know that the challenges that I went through in my life helped to give me the strength to help other women to heal from within, to give them those tools that we need to have to heal from within, aid in our own healing, knowing that we have that power. So that is who I am. I'm an author. I do podcasting, live streaming, blogging. I have online courses that I offer to help facilitate this healing that I know that we can pull up on, this power that we have to pull up on. So that's just a few things about me. And again, thank you, Lachelle, for having me here.
Oh, you are so welcome. Well, you had me at the title of happiness expert. So, talk to us about that because I know for many people, it's been a lot of sadness. We've had these mass shootings, we've got a pandemic, we've got so many changes in the economy and businesses closing and things like that. So, talk to us about how we can really be happy and what that means to you.
Okay, finding happiness within is a process. It isn't something that you can just snap your fingers and say, okay, I've decided that I'm not going to deal with all the chaos and I'm just going to take on this persona and grin and laugh and be cheerful all the time. Because that, when you understand that true happiness, it does come from within,
Mhm.
and it is something that you work on a daily basis because we can't slip at any time and find ourselves going back into the chaos that life has to offer. Finding happiness within means that you stop looking for other things or other people to provide happiness for you and
Mm.
assume the responsibility of providing your own peace, joy, and happiness. Now, it's not the same for everybody. You know, it's not a cookie cutter type thing where the things that I find happiness in may not be the things that you find happiness in.
Mhm.
But it comes from within so that all the chaos that's going on around you, all the madness, you may feel the effects of it, but it doesn't take away your center. It doesn't
Mm.
take away that strength that you pull up on to come up out of whatever may be around you. Not saying that you don't get angry. It's not saying that you don't feel down at times, but you don't linger in those situations. You don't let those situations zap your energy, that positive energy that keeps you on a high vibrational level where you can go to at any given moment because it comes from within.
I love that. Now, so this is really good. I resonate with a lot of what you said, but I know if I go back and think about that dark time for me, that time that I was in my depression and I really didn't even know what happy was. I was just numb, going through the motions, autopilot. So for somebody who is in that space, how do they even start that foundation of getting to that happy energy? Because it's like, how do you get something that you feel you don't have?
First is recognizing it, recognizing that and identifying it, that you
Mhm.
don't have it. Taking time to say, be still, taking time to be still for a moment. And sometimes we will be forced into that stillness, you know,
Mm.
sometimes it's not us just consciously saying, I am going to be, an incident might happen in your life that forces you to check out for a minute, you
Mm.
know. And once that happens, then if you say, okay, why am I here? And you start asking those questions during that self examination to determine, why am I here?
Mm.
So it takes identifying it. That's the start.
Mm. That's good stuff. Now, so what do you do on a regular basis in order to maintain this? Because I know that I really can look and determine based on my own journey when I was happy and when I wasn't. I mean, to me, it's like I tell people I have a depression life and a post depression life. I mean, it just is that much of a difference. So,
Yes.
what is it that you do now? And how did you even get started with this? Because, where did this journey begin for you? Because I think a lot of people look at where we are now and they forget that there was something that was indignative of how our life was different before we got to where we are today.
Okay.
Even if it's mastery of a skill or something, you started as an amateur. So what did that journey look like?
Well, it started for me actually, and it starts for a lot of us when we're children, because most of the things that shape us as where we are today started when we were children. My father was very abusive to my mother.
Mm,
I grew up in poverty. And in fact, I always tell I was born really in the middle of a cotton field in Louisiana in a little two-room shack, no running water, no
mm,
electricity, no amenities at all. My earliest memory was waking up to my mother screaming because my father was beating her. And
wow.
that went on throughout my childhood. And when I was 16 years old, I decided I was going to get out of that situation. So I'm these are clip notes, this,
Yeah. Hey,
yeah.
it's good stuff. Yeah.
So when I was 16, I decided that I was going to remove myself from that situation. I figured out a way to get to California to live with an aunt and uncle in California,
Hmm.
and I graduated from high school there. I went to college. I got married and had my first son there. But I was carrying all this baggage with me, Lachelle. And you know that when you're carrying a lot of baggage, unless you actually deal with it, it is going to manifest itself.
Mm,
So I went in and out. My oldest son's father and I ended up getting a divorce. After that, I ended up going in and out of domestic violence situations, abuse. I
mhm,
was abused in every relationship virtually, whether it was verbal or physical abuse. I was abused. I said I had stamped on my forehead, victim, you
mhm,
come. She will take whatever you have to offer her. And
mhm,
so I went through abuse after abuse. And because I was in pain, I abused drugs and alcohol.
mm,
I numbed myself with drugs. And on a daily basis, I would go to work because I was in the corporate world.
mhm,
You know, I would go put on this facade of being a professional, but when I would leave that world, I would go home to my drugs and my alcohol,
mhm,
and till I would, wake up in the morning and slap myself together or get myself together the best that I could and go back into that world.
mhm,
But there was one incident that was so horrendous, and I was beat so bad. And I'm not even going to go into the details because somebody may cringe from it. But
mhm,
I was beat, severely. And I had to take that moment that I was telling you. I took that moment to say, why? What is it about me
mhm,
that keeps attracting all of this? Certainly,
mhm,
these people were abusers. Certainly, they were not uh, good people. But I had to look at, what is it about me that is
mm,
allowing this to happen? That it is and I had to do that self-examination, take that quiet moment and look at the fact that I did not love myself.
mhm,
I didn't know how to love myself. And so from there, that I started on my journey of learning to love myself and learning what to know my value and to
mm,
understand how valuable I am, you know.
mhm. I love that. Now, you brought up some good stuff about, living the life of the corporate world and then coming home and having this other world. And I resonate with that because I felt like I was the same way, hiding behind masks, where it was trying to be, the corporate look and then going somewhere else with another look. It's like a different mask for each occasion. What
Right.
was it that stopped you from being able to be open about what was going on? Because I think many people are stuck there. I mean, I know I was there for 13 years trying to be all things to all people and seeking that validation. So for you in your case, what was it that stopped you from asking for help or feeling like you had to be, this perfect person in these different worlds?
I was ashamed.
Mm,
I was ashamed of what I was allowing myself to deal with. And looking back, it came from my childhood because my mother put up a good front.
mm,
In fact, she would tell us, at home, when we would go out, we were not really allowed to express what was going on in our home. We
mhm,
lied about it. My father was a Baptist minister.
mm.
And so we were taught to put up this good front, like everything was okay in our home,
Mm,
you know. But my father would preach would beat my mother on Saturday night and get up in the pulpit and preach on Sunday. And
wow.
and so we put on this good front of being this, nice family, but we weren't. So that carried on into my adulthood where I was ashamed of what was
Mhm.
happening and I didn't want anybody to know.
I see. Yeah. And I get that. And I think, it's so ironic that the more we try to hide, which I mean, I'm the same way because I had this perfectionism. I'm thinking, man, something's wrong with me. I'm not doing everything right. People giving me compliments, but it's like they're saying, like, the sky is blue, having no impact on me at all because I'm
Right,
beating myself up, right? I'm over
right,
here saying, you're a failure. You got all this stuff on your to-do list and it's not getting done. What's wrong with you?
right.
Why are these people not seeing that? You know what I mean? So, talk to us about how when you had that rock bottom moment, what were the immediate things that you kind of said to yourself or got you on the path of knowing that there is a better way because you didn't have an example at that point. And I think this is really key for some people. They are really transforming their lives, their mindset is changing, and they don't have a blueprint. So, what advice would you give them?
I became celibate.
Mhm,
I stopped having relationships with any man because I knew that I had to find myself. I knew this.
mhm,
I started developing an up close relationship with God
mhm,
because I didn't call on anyone else. I didn't say to anyone else what was going on. So I closed myself off with God.
mhm,
And we had, you know, and I say this, and I'm Muslim, but
mhm,
I'm also Christian.
mhm,
I'm also Jew. I'm all of those things
mhm,
because I know that there's one God. And I know that that one God is there for all of us.
mhm,
And regardless of what label I have put on myself or any label that anyone else see is because a lot of people will say the universe, they'll say the higher power, the creator. I don't care. He's all those wonderful names
mhm,
to me. He's all those names. So I can say to anyone, I don't care what religious or organization you may belong to, that there is that one God that
mhm,
we all call upon, no matter what name you may call him.
mhm,
And once you have that up close personal relationship with him, then he starts giving you answers. You can say
Mm,
it comes from the universe. You can say it comes from, you can say wherever you want to say it's coming from. But I
mhm,
say it came to me through my creator, through my God.
mhm,
And he started leading me in a direction of things that I needed to do in order to be whole and to find my power and to find my God within, and to know that I am a child of the Most High God
mm,
and I'm made in His image. He
mhm,
shared His power with me. And because He shared His power with me, I'm a little God, you know.
mhm.
And
I
I
love
go ahead. I'm sorry. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
this is good stuff. So, I'm thinking like, what's coming up for me while you were talking is, how we can have a vision and a dream for something different than where we're at. You know,
Right.
when you see a totally different life for yourself, for a lot of people that belief is hard. And, I'll give a illustration. So, a caterpillar dreaming to be a butterfly. I mean, that's crazy, right? Because the caterpillar is on the ground and it doesn't even have wings, but it goes through
Right.
a transformation and it changes
Yes.
totally from a caterpillar to a butterfly. So this is where some people are. They're like, "Man, I'm rock bottom. It is hard for me to see my way out of this." So they see the vision, but they have no idea how it's going to happen, right? So what key advice would you give them? Because everybody else around them definitely probably doesn't see it. You know what I'm saying? If you are in this life and it is going nowhere from where you want to be, and the people in your environment, how are they going to resonate with this new vision you have? So, what are some tools that people can have so that they can know themselves, but also believe what other people don't see? Does that question make sense?
Yes, because okay, for me, and I can only say, from my perspective of what it was for me, I started looking for other people that would be able to aid me on my journey.
Mm-hmm.
I realized that God comes through other people.
Mm.
And I started looking for those people. I didn't know what to do, but God gave me the mindset of connecting with other people that would be able to aid me. That meant getting away from a lot of people sometimes in my family. It
Mm-hmm.
meant shedding some friends or what I thought were friends. It meant uh, finding those people that I knew were where I wanted to be. I
Mm.
had a vision of where I wanted to be. So I started connecting with people that I wasn't there yet, but I knew. And this is one reason I decided to do what I'm doing today. I
Mm-hmm.
want to be a living example to other people that you may be in the mud today,
Mm-hmm.
but you don't have to stay there.
Yeah.
You have a choice. Some people think we don't have choice. You have a choice. You can choose to stay there or you can choose to find ways to pull yourself up out of that. And there are people such as you, Lachelle,
Mm-hmm.
such as me. I know I could go name and keep naming.
Amen. And people that are on this call. We've got Laquita and Elizabeth, and I'm assuming it's Janet is saying Facebook user, but based on her answers, I'm saying it's Janet Douglas. So yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we're out here. There are lots
Mm-hmm.
of us out here. God did not leave us without having comforters, you
Mm-hmm.
know. people that can aid us on our journey towards becoming and making that vision that we see of ourselves, making it real.
Mm, that's good stuff.
Yes. So
Mhm. This is awesome. So, I cannot believe we're almost at the end of the
I know,
time.
I
To
was
think
looking at the time. I said, "Oh my gosh, this has been so." I have so enjoyed this.
this is, and everyone else has enjoyed it too. So, I want to thank everybody for joining us today. But I guess my last question is, so thinking about what we do every day, because some people they have this vision and, just as you mentioned, you're not there yet. What are some things that we should be thinking about on a daily basis so that we can keep that momentum going until we accomplish that total complete vision? So what advice would you give us to break it down so that we can, begin to build up?
I would say find a mantra that resonates with you.
Mhm.
Find a mantra that you can write down. You can post it on your bathroom mirror. You can put it on the wall beside your bed. You
Mhm.
can put it on your refrigerator. You can carry it in your purse. You can, so that you can start saying, now mine is, I've got, but I would start out with just learning to love yourself,
Mhm.
learning to look in the mirror every morning. Develop a routine.
Mhm.
Develop a routine of what you do to start on your journey. Break those old habits of just getting up in the morning and falling into the day. But
Mhm.
find a time when you get up, and you might start getting up 30 minutes early just to devote to yourself,
Mhm.
learning to love yourself. Look in the mirror saying, I love you. I love what I see.
Mhm.
And just make that a starting point. Just make it a start and start building on that.
Mhm. I
Just
love
yes,
I we're back to the things where they're simple, but sometimes not easy,
that's
right?
right.
Simple, but not easy because it takes us. It is Janet, and she says she wants to connect with you. So I definitely will introduce you, Janet and Jeannie. That's on my list of things to do. But
Thank you.
uh, this is some great feedback. I want to thank everybody. Um, this is her. She's saying hers is I am love, I am whole, I am beautiful, I am infinite, I am prismatic. The universe is conspiring in my favor always in all ways.
Go
Now, I
ahead.
love that.
Yes, I
You
love
go
it.
ahead.
We can just put that on a plaque. We need to put that on a plaque. Make that. I can go to Canva right now and make us.
That is good stuff. So,
That's good
we
stuff.
love you for sharing that with us, Janet. That's amazing. But I love it because that is going to be your guiding light, blueprint, or whatever for yourself. And it
Right.
evolves. That's another thing. It can change, right?
Yes.
As you grow.
Oh, yes, constantly growing. I'm constantly growing. That's the excitement about life, is knowing that every day is an opportunity to grow even
Mhm.
more so. I don't ever say I've got it. I've got it all. I've got all
Mhm.
the answers. I know all. I know that. Look at what we're learning from Janet.
Yes.
Everybody that you meet, you
So true. You know, but having that mindset because for I was speaking to somebody yesterday and it used to be as I was groomed to be a high performer that I approach things like, oh, I know this. I'm just going to go show everybody what I know. I
Mhm.
mean, that was really my guiding thing was to have all the answers. And now it is a total opposite. It's like, man, what am I going to learn today? It's like
Yes.
the whole world is a classroom.
Oh, isn't it though? And
Mhm.
I'm going to say this because I know we're out of time, but I even set up a little bird sanctuary in my
Mhm.
backyard.
Mhm.
I am learning so much from the birds. Just
Amen.
watching how they maneuver, how different species don't like other species. I said, oh,
Mhm.
like that sound like us, you know.
So true. So true. Yeah. And I love that. I mean, I was talking to someone over the weekend about God really having value for everything and stuff that we put a size on it, right? You don't
Hmm.
know. I mean, but try making a dish without all the ingredients.
Oh,
Even if
yes,
you see what I'm saying, it makes it turn
yes,
out totally different.
yes,
You
yes,
know, every ingredient matters. It's
yes.
not about how much you put in there, right?
Right, right.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
that's the way this world is. That's why I love connecting with different people and talking to different people. I don't care who you are. I want to know about
Amen.
you.
Amen. That is so true. Now, so what is the best way for the audience to get a hold of you? Because this is some great conversation.
Okay, my website is I am
Mhm.
jeannem.com.
Okay.
I'm on Facebook, Jeanne Muhammad. I'm on LinkedIn, Jeanne Muhammad. Go, of course, all the social media platforms. Jeanne Muhammad is what you will find. Google Jeanne Muhammad, and you will be.
I love it. I love it. And I'm like, I use my name because then I don't have to worry about forgetting, right? How I'm
Right,
showing up.
right.
As long as I remember my name, then I'm good, right?
That's right. That's right. That's
So
right.
I love it. I love it. So, what final thoughts do you want to leave with everybody today?
To not be afraid to connect with you. Do
Hmm.
not be afraid to take that quiet time to connect with you. Know thyself, love thyself.
Love that. Well, this has just been amazing. And thank you so much for your transparency. I know that that really inspired somebody, and my mantra has always been to eliminate the excuses. So I was challenged by Les Brown in a room on Clubhouse to create what you said, a quote, mantra, something that we live by. And mine is a life without excuses is a mindset for greatness. And
Oh,
when we
wonderful.
share our story and are transparent, it wipes out the excuses because people say,
Yes,
they build you up. When you're on video, they're like, oh, she doesn't have to do with what I have to deal with. She's got everything going for her. But when you start knocking out them excuses, talking about when you didn't have any money or when you didn't have any support or when your health wasn't right, all these different things, it makes them decide I'm either going to keep using these excuses or I'm going to get started. So
that's
that's
right.
one of the things that I love about the transparency because it eliminates that. The more open we are, the more we squash all the excuses from other people and they have to just choose to get started on
That's
this new
right.
journey.
Yes,
So I
ma'am.
love that.
Thank you. Thank you so
Mhm.
much for having me. I have thoroughly enjoyed this.
You are so welcome. And we want to thank all of you guys for watching.
Yes,
Special shout
let's
out.
yes,
Yes, we've
yes,
had
yes,
some
yes.
great engagement and we thank you guys so much. We had Elizabeth, Janet, Laquita that were here with us. Laquita has her own show and I'm going to connect you with her
Oh,
because she
great,
definitely would
great,
love to have
great,
you as a guest. And
great.
we just want to thank you guys all because it takes a village, right? This
Yes,
is
it
all about
does.
us doing this together, you
Yes,
know.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Mhm. So, and if they wanna connect with us through V-Team, we can
Oh,
put our link
yes.
for that as well. Now,
Please
so do
do.
you wanna share what your role is and when your V-Team meets?
Yes, I am the VP. I was given that honor of being VP of our chapter, International Diamond Stars. And we meet every Wednesday at 12 noon Eastern Standard Time. And if you would like to visit, please do. I would love to see you there this coming any Wednesday, but please do. And if you will just go to LinkedIn or Facebook or any of those platforms and let me know you would love to visit, I will give you all the information.
Awesome. Well, thank you again, Jeannie. And we want to thank all of our guests that have been so actively engaging. Again, shout out to Elizabeth, Laquita, and Janet, and anybody else. There were no other names that came up for me, but I want to really, really tell you thank you so much, because it is these conversations that help move the needle for us to move forward in ways that
Yes,
help us to grow, as well
yes,
as helping other people. And if you want to be a guest, if you want to continue this conversation, or you have something you want to share, please feel free to reach out to me on any of those social media platforms as well. But in the meantime, we want to thank you guys so much for joining us today. And we look forward to seeing you all on the next episode. Bye
yes,
for
yes,
now.
Mine.